Welcome to Wednesday's Q&A. My name is Kathy Flynn, and this is Thriving with Autism. And I'm coming to you from my special ed classroom in Queens, New York. Today's topic is centered around nonverbal autism. 40% of people that are autistic are nonverbal. And I get asked many of the same types of questions. So today we're going to go over 3 big ones. If you have a nonverbal child with autism and you're struggling to connect and or communicate with him or her, please take some notes. You'll get some great information in this video. So let's start with a question that many parents ask. When will my nonverbal child with autism start talking? So many parents are desperate to hear their child's voice. The problem is, I may be a special ed teacher with over 12 years of experience working with children with autism, but I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot possibly predict who will start talking and when. Nonverbal children may start talking years after anyone predicted them to, and some never actually talk. Sure, they'll make noises and they may even say a word or two. Of course, they'll cry and smile and laugh, but sometimes that's all you can hear. However, that is not all that they can say. Nonverbal children with autism do have language and the ability to communicate. We as educators and parents just have to learn how to tap into that potential. We have to teach them how to communicate in other ways. These can be through gestures at first, like waving and pointing, but we can also get way more efficient with sign language. Some children do better with pictures and learn to communicate with a system called picture exchange communication, which may eventually become a voice output program on an AAC device. Sorry if that sounded like gibberish to you. Simply put, these are the children who use an iPad with a voice program so that when they click on a few pictures, it talks for them. Some children use a combination of these, but we do like to advance skills in one specific mode of communication so that your child does not get confused. Okay, let's keep going. Here's another popular question. How do I get my child to look at me? So I have a great strategy to give you for this one. Many nonverbal children with autism have very limited or fleeting eye contact. They may not look at you naturally, and they'll often avert their gaze to other things. This can be very discouraging, but there is a way to increase eye contact. I have to do this in my line of work. If a child with autism is not looking at me or the table of materials, it is nearly impossible to teach him or her anything. One of the best ways to get your child to look at you is to use a favorite item and bring that item close to your face at eye level. For example, if your child loves Mickey, bring a Mickey toy up to your face. If your child has eyes for Mickey, he or she will hopefully track the item, meaning he or she will follow it with his or her eyes. When you bring the toy to your eye level and your child tracks it, you get that much closer to having your child look right at you. I would do this while also calling your child's name. This way, your child learns to respond to his or her name with eye contact. Continue to practice this repeatedly, and eventually you will not need to use a toy as a visual prompt. If your child's not tracking the favorite toy, you should start with that skill first. Ask them to look at the toy in different positions. Hold it right in front of his or her face, and then to the side, and then down towards the table or the floor. And each time you say, "Look at Mickey, look at Mickey, look at Mickey," okay? And then your child is tracking where Mickey goes. You can work up to about 6 different positions. Okay, and our last question of the day. How do I get my child to want to sit with me and stop running away? If your nonverbal child is not willing to sit with you and is constantly trying to run away, then it is time to start pairing. What is pairing? Pairing is taking your child's favorite things and pairing yourself with those things. You're setting up the environment to hold on to your child's favorite things until he or she approaches you. You want to be the keeper of these favorites. You want your child to realize that in order to get access to this favorite toy or snack, he or she needs to come to you and interact with you in some way. Your child should sit with you And then you can work on eye contact with the toy or food, as I mentioned before. You can also give your child that food or toy so that your child is able to get his or her favorite things for a few minutes. Interact with the toy, be very engaging, act really silly so that your child looks at you. You can try putting your hand out to see if your child is willing to give you the toy back. And then you can start to take turns. If your child is indicating that he or she wants the toy, this is the very first step in making a request. And this is how you can start to build communication at home, which is indeed very exciting. If you want to learn more about pairing and the exact steps in how to connect and pair, click on my free guide. The link will be in the description. And if you want your questions featured on next Wednesday's Q&A, please don't hesitate to ask your question in the comments. I will see you Saturday where I will talk about reinforcement. What is a reinforcer? And how can I use a reinforcer at home to get my child communicating? Until next time, I am Kathy Flynn, and this is Thriving with Autism.